We begin at 5 with winter weather in springtime around the Portland and Vancouver area. Many of us woke up to snow flurries this morning, though at least in the Rose City, temperatures quickly rose and turned it all to rain.
Thank goodness for that. We also saw some hail, gusty winds, and if you were lucky, some very elusive patches of beautiful blue sky, though any break is going to be short-lived with more rain and, yes, perhaps snow once again headed our way. Thanks for joining us this Friday. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Laurel Porter. Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino is here with us too right now. Matt, sounds like we're in for a repeat of this morning?
Pretty much, yeah. What we have this morning is what we're expecting tomorrow morning too. And in a way, that's a good thing because for most people, high interest, low impact. For the valley floor, snowflakes, but it never really stuck, at least not on the roadways. I had it sticking on the grass around my house. I know there's about an inch up in the hills, but even there, it melted away as temperatures warmed into the 40s. Not the case in the Cascades, and we won't look like this tomorrow morning in Portland, but look, it's just dumping snow at Timberline. Still, there's already been 10, 11 inches of new snow there. We are well into the 40s, so obviously too warm to have the snow stick around, and it won't, but we'll drop back down into the 30s again tomorrow morning. And these showers will continue to pour on shore. We're getting rain showers right now. So after the morning snow, then I got hailed on later in the day. So, and I'm sure many of you experienced the same type of weather. Sun breaks in between, which was nice. Didn't really warm us up all that much, nor will it, as these showers keep pouring on shore. There's been a couple of thunderstorms around Western Oregon as well. So the snow forecast looks like this. By 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, some of the modeling painting about 0.3 of an inch of snow over Portland. Closer to an inch, perhaps, Gresham and Troutdale. So there'll be a lot of variability around town, very much like this morning. But this is really an elevation-driven event. That means you need to get up above about 500 feet to really get a chance of having sticking snow, or at least sticking for a little while. And below 1,000 feet, it's all going to melt away anyway. Little to no accumulation for the valley floor. But again, in the hills, maybe as much as 2 inches tomorrow morning, and we'll do it again on Sunday morning. But we've got some warm weather for spring break. We'll talk about that later too, guys. Back to you.
And oh, the spring break skiing and boarding. How great it's going to be. Thank you, Matt.
Well, you know, the tributes are coming in from literally all around the world, and they all say the same thing, that he was just so kind and generous, and that is really the absolute truth. Is the bottom line. It's who he was as a person.
Remembering a larger-than-life Portland icon and a drag performer known around the world. This evening, people are mourning the loss of Walter Cole at the age of 92, better known by his stage name, Darcel.
She and he, either way was fine with him, stood in the spotlight for nearly 6 decades as a trailblazer for LGBTQ plus people, known most of all perhaps for his strength of spirit, his willingness to stand up for a better and more accepting world. Tim Gordon joins us now. Tim, you talked to people who knew him over his 50-something years on that stage. What did they tell you?
David, Laurel, I did, and there really is a common theme I heard, that Cole and his alter ego, Darcel, lived a great life that included being true to herself, helping others, and putting on a great show.
Dubbed the bold, the blonde, and the beautiful, Darcel has left life's stage at the age of 92. A life well lived. Born in 1930 in the city they loved.
Darcel always loved Portland, a native Portlander, grew up in Linton, and always just, he always wore that as such a badge of pride wherever we traveled.
Kevin Cook, known as Poison Waters on stage, says he learned a lot from Cole as a close friend and working with him as a female impersonator. Cole served in the military and was a married man and father who eventually came out as his true self. A gay man at a time when that was much less accepted. Cook says it made a difference for all those who followed.
He did so much work on behalf of all of us without even intending to. He was just a one-man activist crew. He was just living his life.
Show business like show business. That life included a flair for theater and the dramatic. Cole's alter ego, Darcel, truly became larger than life, leading the way in shows at the former tavern Cole bought in 1967 and turned into the Darcel 15 nightclub. KGW celebrated Darcel's first 2 decades on her Rose City stage in 1988.
You can do this for 20 years, and before that curtain comes up, your nerves are just as tight as if it was the first night you ever worked.
But Cole was much more than his onstage persona, a leader for the entire community, helping others in many ways, even delivering for a food drive in drag. Darcel rode proud in many parades.
Hi, Darcel!
including as Grand Marshal of the Starlight Parade and doing the same for Portland's Pride Parade in 2010.
And, today my thoughts are really around the impact on the community, Darcel's legacy, the example that Walter Darcel set for the rest of us in lifting up and serving community.
Darcel lifted up her voice with the Portland Gay Men's Chorus the final time in 2019. Its executive director will honor the iconic drag queen before concerts this weekend.
And basically say that while Portland has lost a glittering star in its firmament, I fully expect to see a new star in the heavens above that will be Darcel, because they will always be here and they'll always be a part of this community.
Cole would no doubt love that and maybe echo what he said about his life a few years ago.
Fantastic. I wouldn't change a day.
Loved ones say Cole or Darcel died of natural causes, again at the age of 92, as the world's oldest drag queen performer. Cole's longtime partner, Roxy Leroy Newhart, passed away in 2017 at the age of 82. And as Darcel wanted, the show will go on at his club at Old Town tonight, guys.
And Darcel's legacy will live on for a long, long time. Thank you, Tim. Developing tonight, there's a statewide search for a missing Portland teenager. Authorities say Jerica Landon disappeared on March 7th, and she's believed to be in danger. She is 16 years old and was in foster care in Portland. Police think she may still be in the city, but there's also a chance she's traveling north to Kirkland or Seattle or down to Northern California. At this point, authorities are casting a wide net to try to find her. She's 5'5". You see a picture of her there with reddish brown hair and a tattoo of a heart on her neck. If you see Landon or know anything about her disappearance, call 911.
One person is dead and another injured after a shooting in southeast Portland. Police say a man was found shot in the parking lot around 11:30 last night outside Red's Bar and Grill on Southeast Foster near 71st. He later died in the hospital. A second man was also shot outside the bar. Authorities say he is expected to survive. No word on a suspect or any arrests.
Switching gears to Portland's economy, if you're a frequent visitor to downtown, you may have noticed the security walls around the Apple store are coming down. They went up years ago in the midst of all the civil unrest we experienced. Let's bring in Mike Benner. Mike, you spent the day talking to people downtown. What are they saying?
Yeah, Laurel, we couldn't find anyone who has a problem with it. I can tell you that much. People we spoke with believe the walls coming down outside the Apple store is a sign of hope and progress. Now, it's unclear when the walls started coming down outside the store at Southwest 5th and Yamhill. Safe to say, not terribly long ago, and crews aren't finished yet. They still have some work to do. You might recall these walls have been up for much of the last several years, and for good reason. Civil unrest in the Rose City was resulting in a lot of property damage, more than $18 million in 2021, according to the FBI. Apple wanted to avoid that, so the company put up the walls, but now they're coming down.
It makes me feel like I'm not in a police state anymore. And that, they expect people to behave like they should.
No, this is great news. I think it's the symbol of where we are as a downtown right now, that the pandemic's behind us, our challenges are behind us, and we're starting to see that wide-scale reopenings that we've been talking about.
All right, buildings that haven't been completely reopened yet are the Multnomah County Courthouse and Justice Center. We're told it could be a year before that happens. In the meantime, it is worth mentioning we did reach out to Apple for a statement on the company's decision to drop the walls. We have not yet heard back.
Let's hope it's a sign of good things to come. Thank you, Mike. This evening, Clackamas County Commission Chair Tootie Smith is explaining her 180 on a plan to turn a hotel into a homeless shelter. Now, this week, Smith called an emergency meeting and reversed her yes vote on Project Turnkey, effectively killing that plan. The proposal would have turned the Quality Inn on Sunnyside Road near I-205 into transitional housing, most of it covered with state funding and bond money for Metro. Now, Smith says instead of rushing to create temporary housing in a hotel, she wants to work with experts to study the root causes of homelessness and examine therapy and recovery models. She also wants more community input.
I don't want to engage in a fight about homeless from any direction. I want to try to find the solutions to get people off the streets.
All right, joining a growing chorus of elected leaders, Smith also criticized Oregon's Measure 110, which of course decriminalized possession of small amounts of hard drugs. She argued it's contributed to crime and homelessness. Smith says she plans to ask county citizens to vote to direct the legislature to overturn 110.